Kristen. I am primarily a writer. I've done some journalism. I had a child-free blog on the page Anonymous Was a Woman under the name Sylvia D. Lucas. But my first love is fiction. And no matter what I'm writing, whether it was journalism, a blog, or fiction, I've always tried to incorporate child-free characters with a child-free perspective. Most recently, I did that in my novel, The Age of the Child, in which a desperately child-free woman finds herself living in a recently post-Roe v. Wade America, which, as you can imagine, would cause some problems.
Hi, my name is Lenora Faye. I am the creator of The Bitchy Bookkeeper, which is a child-free lifestyle brand that makes products and sponsors events for the child-free community. And yeah, actually, that's it. Okay.
Hi, I'm Isabel. I am a coach for Childfree Women. I help Childfree women with their insecurities about their choice and any icky feelings that might come with it. My brand's name is The Uprising Spark, and I'm also the host of The Honest Supper. And we are the three founding non-mothers,
Mhm.
right?
Still, unless one of us is secretly pregnant.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know. And we're the three founding non-mothers of Childfree Girls. And today, we're doing another almost unedited episode. Welcome to Freaking Friday, by the way. If you're watching this, Lenora and Kristen have kind of switched a little bit their thing. So Kristen's all glam, no wig, but she has a full face of makeup on that she's loving so much. She's just so happy to have
She's
her face
glowing with excitement that she's wearing this much makeup.
Loving it so much. And then we have Lenora, who washed her childhood face. And has hair up in the bun. Her natural hair, by the way. If you're not
my natural hair, my polygamist cult hair. Yes.
Exactly. She's always wearing a wig, and not today. So we have a Freaky Friday kind of situation. And today, we are talking about nurturing. So childhood people being nurturers. And how is nurturing not something that we believe is strictly reserved to parents, which is something that we are led to believe for some reason? So, Kristen and Lenora, I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
So I just wanted to shout out Jen, who gave us the idea for this topic today, because the conversation that sparked this topic was how there's Mother's Day, there's Father's Day, and even if you really have nothing to do with the child, if you say, oh, I'm a dad, oh, I'm a mom, people can wish you Happy Mother's Day, Happy Father's Day. So what about the people in our lives, whether they're teachers, mentors, child-free aunts, uncles, whoever, people that are not our parents, who have really influenced our lives, how and are not publicly acknowledged or celebrated, especially if they don't have children themselves? How are they nurturers versus, let's say, those of us who have parents or had parents who are less than nurturing? And why? And so that the conversation is really why is it relegated to parents? Like, they're just being a parent automatically make you a nurturer, which I would say hell no. Hell no. So also, is there anyone in your either of your lives or any of our lives that have filled that role? Like for me, aunts and uncles who didn't have kids were a huge influence on me, just because they didn't treat you like, they treated you just like a person and helped you. Like for me, my hopes and dreams, nothing, they really encouraged that. And it was more the connections with those people that treated me like a human when I was 15 and really angry, versus how my parents treated me, because there's that whole parent-child battle. So I'm a big believer in nurturing doesn't necessarily come from the parents, even if they want to.
Especially during a certain time of life, like what you just said, there's that whole child parent battle. And when you're a teenager, you'll probably gravitate toward anyone else before you'll think even about wanting to go toward your parent, just because they're there all the time. And you'll probably trust anybody else's advice over your parents, even if it's the exact same advice. You'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, thanks. And you'll completely disregard whatever your parents said. I don't think I had an extra nurturer in that way. I didn't have anyone, but there were other adults in my life, but not really. I lived overseas with my dad, and for a time, a stepmother. Um,
Oh, tell us
yeah,
that story. Tell us that story.
Yeah, we can tell that it was such a happy time.
she's still alive. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know.
Oh, okay.
I can tell you this. Here's my problem with her. I really liked her at first. I was 11 years old and I was like very excited about the idea of having a mother figure. I latched onto women like crazy. Um, and I automatically trusted. And over the course of, I think, the six years that they were married, she would get in a fight with my dad and then try to get me to side with her against my dad. She read my diary and then gave me shit about it. I grew up with a father who would never ever violate your privacy like that, and who I I was raised to believe that one did not do that. Like that's an utter violation and just a completely wrong thing to do. So that bothered me. Um, she found Vivarin once. Vivarin is a caffeine drug. I was taking it when I was in high school because I stayed up really late. And so I slept in class almost every single day. So I just wanted a little pick me up. And she accused me of doing drugs when I know she knows it wasn't drugs. And the worst thing is that I had just gotten a serious boyfriend and she thought I should have safe sex. So she said, "Why don't I take you to the teen clinic and get you on the pill?" And I think I wasn't ready at the time. So I said, not yet. But she had put that seed like, "Oh, teen clinic, I can just go get on the pill." So I went to get on the pill by myself. And then she found out I got on the pill. And then she told my dad I was on the pill. And I said it was your idea for me to go. You were going to bring me. And she completely lied right in front of him and said that never happened. So there was just a whole, very bad betrayal of trust in a repeating sort of pattern. So that.
So she was not a nurturing stepmother.
No.
That's an example of not nurturing.
I was gonna say
Yes,
the
yes.
exact same thing.
Yeah, so if anyone who thinks all women are nurturing, just plop a kid on her and she'll be nurturing. Absolutely not. No.
Absolutely not. Um, Nurturing figures. I mean, my parents were very nurturing in general. I think my mom more so than my dad. Um, I can think of, some uncles or aunts, maybe mainly aunts who were like around. My grandmother was super nurturing. She was a big nurturing figure as well for me. Even when I was an adult, she would be like, "Come home, I made lunch, I made for you this, you love it." So um, it was mainly family. Oh, and my mom has two best friends who she's been with, best friends with, forever. And so they're like my aunts in a way, but we're not blood related. And they've also been very nurturing to me. But they're both mothers, so I mean, they all have their children. Um, but regarding the actual being nurture, and I just feel for sure. I mean, you just see it. You can almost see it in every single place that you visit. In a way, like in public places, you can see mothers being just completely cold to their children, not being very, what's the word, understanding maybe of kids' attitudes sometimes. Like I saw it when I think I told you guys about this. I was in a plane and there were six children. One of them was just like kicking their seat and like just making a, screaming their lungs out and whatnot. And parents are not, instead of like trying to figure out what's wrong with the child, they're just like letting it do whatever. And I feel that, I don't know, maybe if that's the style of parenting, I have no idea, but it doesn't feel very nurturing to me. To not try to, ask, at least ask the child, what is it? Are you sleepy? Are you hungry? You know, I don't know. Um, I remember having one of my episodes on the Honest Supper. I had somebody, Jen, I think her name was, as well. We were talking about um, safe adults. She was like, "I'm a safe adult for a lot of my friends' children." And they know that. And what that means basically is that they can come to me and talk to me about anything they want that they cannot talk to their parents about, just because, it's their parents, right? There's things that we're mortified to tell our parents, that we just don't want to go there. Things that have to do maybe with sex or reproduction, or I don't know, you name it. There's just so many things that maybe we're not comfortable about talking with our parents, just because we have that relationship of, they're the authority, or they're gonna, I don't know, they're gonna be mad at me if I tell them or whatever. So having a safe adult, which I think is a great term, would allow these kids to come to her and talk to her about something without them being scared that she was going to tell their parents, and she could also like help them out. And she's child free too. So I thought that was a great way to, but it's not the only way, of course, but I thought that was a great way to be a nurturer and guide young people without actually being a parent.
So when people are celebrated just for simply giving birth or having something, or being the sperm donor of a child, by saying, yes, I'm a father, yes, I'm a mother, and they get congratulated, but if people knew that they're not actually the ones who are being the safe adult to those kids, there's what do you think about just that whole label, mother, father, automatically assuming that they're the end all be all of nurturing? What do you think about that? And especially if there's someone else behind the scenes who are the ones that are really nurturing those kids, but no one ever knows about it, or it's not celebrated in society or acknowledged in society.
Well, society can't possibly know about the background adults who are doing the nurturing in place of the non-nurturing parent. I don't know if it's that people want to believe in the goodness of people, and so they just assume the parent is an actual nurturer instead of just a nurturer in name. I think my bigger problem is with the word maternal, because I don't think there's one that compares to that for fathers, because if you say paternal, I don't have any paternal instincts. That just, for me, I just kind of flop it with parental, and it doesn't mean the same thing as maternal. I don't think, does it? Like, if it's mostly used for like, it's his paternal grandfather, it's his paternal, whatever.
It's more of a technical term when you say paternal, where maternal gives you like, it invokes like a feeling. Like there's an expectation, where if you say paternal, it's just a technical term. What we're getting at that
right.
term.
So that bothers me, because it assumes that that sort of nurturing, like maternal is synonymous with nurturing, and maternal is also pointing at the woman for like mothering. And so there's just, in our language, I don't know what it's like in Spanish, but at least in English, it's really the only word for a human nurturing feeling is either nurturing or maternal. There's no room for the father to have those instincts or those feelings. And most of the men in my family on the Tetsi side are incredibly nurturing individuals. They're the more hands-on parent in some ways, or the more, maybe not the more hands-on parent, but it's not even a competition between them and the women. It's just that they are very involved. Like, they're into it. They're into being dads. They're not just people who go out and make money, throw the money at the family, and then, go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned. Sorry?
Oh, no, I said, so what's the word for them? Go ahead.
It's funny that you mentioned, in Spanish, because it's the same. We have the same thing with the maternal and paternal with the actual literal translation. Like, maternal means, motherhood, just nurturing, and paternal is just technical, like Lenora said. But we don't have a word. We don't have a, like, the translation. Yeah. The translation for the word nurturing in Spanish means feeding. So we don't even have a word for like nurturing. Like that's not a thing. It's just maternal.
Oh, okay.
So if you translate nurture in Spanish is to feed. So yeah.
So it's physically feeding, not metaphorically feeding. Kind of.
We never use that word in Spanish to refer to somebody being
Okay.
nurturing towards somebody else.
Okay.
You know, we talk about the maternal instinct. We talk about being maternal a lot, even if you're not a mom. Like people tell me I'm maternal towards my dog. You know, or I can be maternal with small children in the literal translation, but there isn't a word like nurturing in Spanish, which I think is very interesting. And this is something that I just realized because Kristen asked about the translation. So yeah, it's interesting.
So have we as an English speaking society just romanticized that whole word then? Do you think? I'm gonna look at Kristen because yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. If it's like, it's just, over time words start taking on a different meaning or adding, or another meaning is added to it instead of the literal translation of, because that makes sense. Feeding, you're nurturing, you're feeding, you're being fed, whatever. Because they use that term in a religious sense too, like your soul is being nurtured, whatever. But so then the other thing is how do we change that? How do we get rid of that that second meaning? There's the original meaning and then there's the whole, how do we change that? Impossible question to answer.
I just want to say to the people being around children who are not parents, like childfree people who are around children, who are nurturing children, like teachers, like coaches, sport coaches, for example, like music teachers, like, I don't know, there's just so many people around children who don't necessarily have children or want them, who can also like step into that role, not to fill in their parents' responsibilities. That's not what it's about. But it's just to add something else to the nurturing of the child, to that feeding of life and experience and everything and knowledge and everything that comes with growing up. I remember, for example, I had at least a couple of teachers when I was in school, when I was in primary school or high school, that I still remember because they were very encouraging of things that I think my parents weren't too much. I wanted to be a writer at the time, and they were very encouraging of that because they were my English teachers, and they were like, "You can definitely do it. Let's try going into a short story, for example, a short story or a poem. There's this contest. Let's try and like put something in. I'll help you." That had nothing to do with our curriculum at school. And my parents, they weren't even aware of that, I think. And that to me means a lot because I also, like I said, it's a relationship that you have with other adults that are not necessarily your parents and who don't necessarily have children themselves. There are a lot of topic people who are teachers, by the way.
I just remembered we were talking about music teachers, my second piano teacher, her name was Mrs. Chang, and she never had children. I think her husband did. And, growing up how I did, you were not really allowed to pursue any like big goals. But my mom put me in piano, and that teacher was super glamorous. You talk about latching onto somebody. For me, I mean, she always had like this, glamorous blonde hair. And she was a brilliant piano player who always got manicures, like long, beautiful nails. And she'd always be like, "I shouldn't be doing this because you can't play the piano in a full set of nails." And she smelled amazing, and her skin, like her makeup, like I loved going to her house. And she always told me, she's like, "One day, Lenora, your name is going to be in lights." Actually, a lot of my music teachers seem to tell me that. Kind of came true, potentially still coming true, but they really allowed me to flourish in that part. Like that was a part of me that always existed that was definitely not acknowledged by my parents supported me being in music because they put me in it, but like the religious aspect and just your overall life goal was not meant to have your name in lights. So that teacher was the first one that really encouraged me to pursue whatever it is I wanted to. And she was teaching me piano. She even had, she asked my mom permission because she knew that I didn't have a TV. We weren't allowed to watch TV, but she asked my mom if she could have me over to watch The Lion King, because she knew that how I immersed myself in music is if I saw the movies, I could feel the music and I'd perform it. And she recognized that. So she really nurtured that in me. And my mom said yes. And so I was allowed to watch a movie. I was so excited. I think I was 9 and saw The Lion King, or 10, something like that. And of course, Elton John did that. So that just spawned like this whole, opened up my world in a massive way. But that was an example of someone who nurtured a part of me that I knew existed, but I couldn't put words to it because there was nobody else in my life that could understand that. So that's for me was a really powerful example of how, and that inspired me as like when I was a music teacher to do that to other kids, because, I think when parents, again, not being a parent, not wanting to be a parent, you're just focused on keeping yourself alive, the roof over your head, and keeping these kids fed, clothed, and somewhat educated. So I can't imagine, and you can't teach your children everything, right? That's why they go to school. That's why they go to classes, like music classes. That's why they take language classes, art, whatever, because you can't teach your kid everything. And as a result, there's going to be things about your child and their personality that you can't nurture specifically. You can support them, but you might not understand that. Like, there's no way my mother really understood all of the things that were bubbling up inside of me, and luckily I did have teachers, specifically music teachers, that recognized that and were able to help me on that path. So, when I think, and how are they celebrated? And that's the other question, because again, like if they have their own kids or something, then society be like, oh, great, you're a parent. But if you're not a parent, but you are inspiring younger people in a really, like, in great ways, and it's not because you do it for the applause, or they say you do it for the cause, not for the applause, but it's just bringing it back to like the child-free conversation. People think, oh, well, your life is meaningless because you don't have kids. You're not doing anything with your life because you're not raising kids. Well, F that. There's so many ways you can insert your favorite term instead of nurture here.
Nurture's fine. I mean, nurture.
Like, well, in case you don't want to be nurtured, because we hate the word maternal. Like I've said that to Kristen, and she's like, no. Like,
yeah, that's because it attaches only to a woman.
Yeah,
nurture, I think, is what it is. That's
okay. So there are ways for child-free people to nurture other people, younger generations, inanimate objects, whatever, and even if it's not.
I'm trying. Like, how do you nurture an inanimate object? And then
the journal is an inanimate object. You're nurturing a journal. Okay, it depends.
There's a philosophy that would suggest that inanimate objects are.
I talk to everything in my house. Yeah, I believe in energy. Like, I think I talk to my musical instruments. I talk to my piano. I think it every time I see it. That's an inanimate object, but I do believe in communicating with musical instruments. Huge thing, because you're bonding.
I talk to my kite and I talk to my board.
See? So why are you laughing?
I'm not. The thing is, the first thing that came to mind when he said that was the baby Yoda that you've been carrying around.
Oh,
like
I've got 2 of them. I have another one.
Okay.
I have a pen pal, someone who follows me on Pinterest and who doesn't have any child-free people to talk to. We've been chatting for a year. Her and her husband sent me this beautiful sparkly pink gem rhinestone license plate holder that's now on the back of my vehicle. And they sent me a Baby Yoda bobblehead doll. It's so cute. So I have 2 Baby Yodas to talk to now. Anyway. Yeah, I'm a dork.
I love it.
I guess I was pretty lucky because my dad did all that stuff. Like he didn't, when you're younger, your interests change. But anytime I had an interest, he never put it down. He would just say, oh yeah, good. He would encourage it. He would in the best way possible, kind of ridicule me if I wanted to chicken out on something. Like there was a screenwriting class I really wanted to take in college. And as soon as I learned that part of the class involved reading out loud, like if the workshopping of the screenplay meant that you would have, you'd be assigned roles and you'd have to read this out loud for the workshopping of the screenplay. And I told my dad, I don't think I can't do this class. There's no way I'm doing this. And he didn't ridicule me necessarily, but he said, do you really want to give up on something you could like that much just because you're a little bit scared of it? So he pushed me beyond my comfort level in the best possible way. And he was, yeah, I got all that nurturing from my dad. I was lucky.
You were lucky. That's good. So,
Very
okay,
lucky.
parents can be nurturing too.
Oh my God, yes.
Now and then.
And grandparents too. My grandmother used to feed me every time I saw her, and that's her way. Her way to nurture me was that, and like nurture as in nutrients of food, and also like, here's my love, eat.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just feel really bad for people who don't have parents who nurture them. For whatever reason, maybe because they were nurture themselves, so they don't know how to do it. Maybe because they don't like their children. I know somebody very personal, but I know her personally. We're very close. Her mother didn't want her because when her mother got pregnant, as soon as she got pregnant, her husband left her. And so when this kid was born, this person that I know that's very close to me, her mother blamed her for her husband leaving her. She blamed her pregnancy. So she was just a horrible person to her. She was a horrible mother. And I'm trying not to judge. Who knows what was going through her mind, how traumatic it was for her to be left by her husband as soon as she got pregnant. It doesn't,
get over it.
Yeah, it doesn't, I was going to say, it doesn't really justify the fact that she wasn't very nurturing to her daughter. She was a horrible person. But every time I see this, things like this, I'm like, I was so lucky to have a parent or two parents who were very nurturing, and in so many ways. Not perfect, because no parents are perfect, but in their own way.
So
no person is perfect.
Really? Oh, no one told me that.
I thought child-free people were perfect. What are you talking about?
We're perfectly
Well, like
child-free.
every time I hear someone say no parents are perfect, it's almost like who expects them to be? I mean, anybody who expects to have a relationship with their parent that is completely conflict free.
Instagram expects parents to be perfect.
People in general expect parents to be perfect. Even parents are like the worst critics of other parents. I hear. I don't know. That's what I hear. There's just so much.
I think they are.
Pressure. Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure. There's somebody who I posted something on. I think her kid turned like 2 or 3 or something, and she posted on Instagram something like, "I wish you had come with a manual, like an instructions manual with you, because it's just been really hard. But we've done it together. We've grown together. We've learned together, and I think parenting. That's what parenting should be about, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Have we answered this question? How do you nurture? How do you personally nurture something?
I think you listen. I think you encourage.
I mean, you personally, like nurturing a novel, nurturing your dog, nurturing whatever. How do you personally nurture?
I wouldn't call what I do to my novels nurturing. Okay. But like if someone gave me a kid and that kid required nurturing, I would listen. I would not pick up and cuddle when they scrape their knee. I think nurturing is a combination of being compassionate and really truly listening and understanding that person is an individual and not putting your own, like, let's say this kid wanted to be a writer. A terrible person would be like, I want to be the writer. You don't get to be the writer. What if you end up doing better than I do? No way. Like I think there are some parents who are like that. Like they discourage their kids from doing stuff because they have weird jealousy issues or bitterness issues about things they didn't get to do themselves. So I think you put their interest, like you just care about them essentially, and care about how they're going to how they're going to handle the world, which is why, for instance, like if a kid fell and scraped their knee, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, are you okay? Let me get you ice cream. Oh my God, that must hurt so bad. Because that just teaches them, wow, this was really tragic, instead of sometimes you fall and hurt your knee, get up and keep walking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to scrape your knee a lot in many different ways in life. And the more you recognize, oh, this is something that happens, it hurts like hell, but it'll get better. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, but that's not nurturing. That's coddling, like you said, right? I
Well,
think
yeah,
it's
but I think a
different.
form of nurturing is care in the way you guide someone.
Yeah, I agree with that. What about you, Lenora?
See, I'm all for nurturing inanimate objects. I'm so, because for me, it's like when I think of nurture, I even apply it to business or an idea, creative wise, because I'm going to go pick up my nephews and they're going to be in my house for a week after this. So as an aunt, there is an element of nurturing too, just providing a space. Like for me, I look at it as providing space for something. And I apply this to any creative idea I have, that even if it turns into a business or whatever kind of venture, for me, that is how I nurture, because it, especially right now, it provides a space for other people to utilize or to maybe feel comfortable in expressing themselves, because I'm all about self-expression. And for me, I look at that as nurturing, because I am physically speaking, I am not a nurturer. I am not someone who likes to cuddle. I don't like to coddle. I don't like to coddle anyone in business. Like, I'm very like, hey, let's do this, get it done. We got things to do.
Lenora Faye, no cuddling, no coddling.
Exactly. If I already didn't have a tagline, I would use that.
That I have a question now that we're on this subject.
Mm-hmm.
Are you too like physical touchy-feely person, or not at all?
No, I mean, there's subtle touching, like even I don't mind, like if someone, like, I guess in a lover instance or whatever, it's like, kind of like a little touchy-feely, but personal space, like I'll be social distancing 6 feet apart forever, because it's just, I need that. I don't like to feel smothered. So no physical, like I'll hug you too when I see you, and probably only once.
I was gonna say, once in your life,
Thank God.
get one hug.
Yeah,
one hug.
I mean, because yeah. I mean, okay, maybe twice. I don't know, because we've been together for a while, but no, not I don't enjoy like the, oh hey sweetie, like, and this is just strangers. Oh, for like, no. I have amazingly fast reflexes. If you come anywhere near me, my arms are going to be up, and I'll like never sneak up on me, because you will get a bloody nose. And I won't even, my reflexes just go up. I'm just automatically shield. So yeah, not
I have that
touchy-feely.
same thing.
What?
Like when I was younger in a bar, if some guy would try to touch me, like if he touched me and I didn't see it happen, my immediate reflex is violent, really. It's like turn and hit.
Mm-hmm.
Or if a hand would come toward me, it would just automatically, like, what are you doing? Block, little karate chop blocks everywhere.
Poor
And
Isabel's,
even in like huh?
I was saying, if you're the opposite, me and Kristen are gonna beat up on you so hard when we see you, because we're like, don't touch us.
Yeah, I'm totally the opposite. So I'm like a big hugger. I love like hugging people, and the reason I was thinking about this was, of course, Lenora, something that you said, like, kind of like reminded me of, or made me think about how nurturing in my culture is very connected to physical touch too. Parents or any nurturer around you would be, if they want to congratulate you, they hug you. If they want to, or kiss you, or if they want to be like, encouraging about something, they're also like, there's the physical touch. That element is so important in my culture. To the question about what do we nurture, how do we nurture, I completely agree. I think, Kristen, you just nailed the word that kind of like sums it up for me. It has to do with being compassionate with the other person, or the object in Lenora's case. Just being compassionate in general. It's about listening. It's about trying to see the world from the other person's point of view. It's about encouraging somebody when they don't believe in themselves, because sometimes you see something that people don't see in themselves. I think it's very important to also be very communicative when you're nurturing something. And for me, it's also about quality time. It's spending quality time with people is also a way to nurture relationships, for example. So that's why I think, yeah.
I really hope somebody's watching who understands the idea of nurturing an inanimate object. Because I think there's energy in everything. Like my pink Christmas tree, who's missing the star right now, is over there. And I still talk to it, Or maybe that's because I live alone. I don't know. It's just...
I understand the concept of nurturing a passion, like you give yourself the time to
totally
give it attention and get better at it. And
like shoe shopping.
So I understand that. Like shoe shopping. I mean, the picture back there of your shoes is a clear, that's an expression of love.
That was a card from an ex-boyfriend, and I can't get rid of that card. I got rid of the ex, but I had to keep the card because it's glittery.
Of course, if it has glitter, it doesn't go anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of glitter, I just want to comment on Lenora's hand fan. And it's usually something you see when Lenora is dressed fancier, and it's like a kind of a matching sort of outfit thing. But I really want to say I love the way the fan looks with Lenora in a basic black t-shirt with her hair comfortably up. She looks amazing. It's so rare to see Lenora without her wig and makeup. And it's all good. I just, I love the fan with the black t-shirt. That's so cool.
It has my name in Chinese on it in here.
Oh, nice.
I have a bunch of these all over my walls because we don't believe in air conditioning on the Canadian prairies, and we're in a heat wave. So this is my source of air conditioning. Yeah. I really want to swap outfits with you, Kristen, right now, because I feel super as uncomfortable as you feel. How you are, yeah. This is how uncomfortable I feel, even though this is me pretty natural. Like I'll go out like this, but
and this is just a shirt dress. I mean, it's like a little look, it has little flowers on it.
Aww.
See?
Oh, that looks so good on you. Yeah, very summery.
Anthropology.
Don't ask me to stand up because I'm just wearing a t-shirt. So.
Obviously. Yeah, you don't have any pants. You never have pants. Nope. But I do want to say, I mean, I echo Kristen's sentiments regarding, Lenora. You look good. I know that you feel more comfortable being all glammed up with a lot of glitter on top, but you look good.
Thank you. Well, I got a tan now. Yeah.
Okay. So did I, but you can't really tell. Like, I don't know what's going with this light.
Yeah, I'm a couple shades darker than my normal tan. Yeah. But thank you. I mean, I feel fine. Whatever. It's just optics. It's just optics. I mean, I'm sweaty as fuck, but I'm always sweaty as fuck. Anyway, appreciate
also,
it.
the thing about wearing makeup like this is like I just wanted to rub my eye, and I don't know how to use eyeshadow. I want you to know. I was just putting all various colors on, like, I don't know, like pretending it's like a paintbrush and canvas and blending and whatever. But I just wiped my eye, and now there's stuff on my fingers. Yeah. You can't touch anything. I don't understand. Like, I don't have foundation or that stuff, and people who wear foundation, like, I don't know how they go through the day.
I recently just started wearing eyeshadow and eyeliner because I never used to do it before, but I looked at a couple episodes back, and I blink a lot anyway because I have dry eyes. But that episode, there's one episode where I'm like, holy crap, Lenora, like, because I don't blink at the same eyes at the same time. I try and regulate it for this, but my eyeshadow was bothering me so much, and I'm just watching myself in editing. I could tell my eyes were so uncomfortable with all that stuff on because it is heavy. Like I don't know, Isabel, if you do, like, when you get glammed up, if you do eyeshadow, but it's not something I can wear every day either because it's heavy and my eyes don't know what to do with it. And then I sweat and then it runs into your eyes, like, ugh, it's gross.
I love it. My eyes don't know what to do with it. Yeah, I do it. I do wear eyeshadow. When you said heavy, the first thing that came to mind is fake eyelashes. Those are heavy.
Yes.
I've never worn those.
They're fun. Like that episode, you two wore wigs and didn't tell me. Like that was, yeah, super glam. And I loved Isabel's eyelashes. Oh my God. I was obsessed with that. Kristen's like, I just want to go wash my face so bad right now.
Well, no, I was thinking one of the things I don't like about makeup, I guess, or things like false eyelashes is if I put on false eyelashes, I would probably like how it looked so much that I would be bummed that it wasn't real. And I wouldn't, you take them off and you look less good. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't look this good in real life. So, I mean, it's all just a lie. I would just be disappointed that I couldn't possess them on my real face. It would bother me. I don't know if that makes sense.
I do, because I'm looking right now. I'm like, I miss glam Lenora, whatever. But here's something that I personally discovered. It's like, if you still feel the same way inside, like I'm right now, my attitude is as the same as if I were still glam head to toe. And the earlier, like when we first started doing this show and I didn't do that and I was still super uncomfortable, like I feel way more confident now just even appearing like this than I did like our first 10, 15 episodes. So I think if you can do the outer stuff and then have it where you just kind of feel good regardless of how you're looking, and it's easier said than done. I'm on a good day right now, but it helps, because then ultimately you're still you and you feel fine regardless of how you're looking that day. Because for me, it was like, I felt more comfortable being myself when I was all glammed up, but I've done it so much now that I'm okay. And I'm still feeling fine. Same way now, just a little sweatier, You
said sweatier, right? Because it sounded like sluttier.
Either or. I did just come back from a nice experience.
Fine, just a little sluttier. We have all kinds of taglines for you.
Oh my God. Very few people know that last tagline, but yeah, no, that's
But you know what? I love how appropriate this is to what we're talking about, because you can also nurture yourself, like your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-image. And what Lenora just mentioned about her feeling a lot better now than she did at the beginning when we started recording, when she was not wearing any makeup or a wig or whatever. Now feeling like, yeah, this is me, this is my same attitude. Like it's who I am, and it would be the same with me wearing a wig or not. I love that.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Nurture yourself.
Ultimately, I think that's what we need to do, because if you rely on someone else to nurture you, you're going to be disappointed no matter how hard they try, because they'll never get it right.
Especially when you're older, because as a kid, you don't know. Yeah. You don't know you need nurturing, and you don't know that someone's supposed to give it to you, ideally. But yeah, surely as soon as you get older, especially as because I think as you get older, especially if you move around, friends fall away, or maybe someone flirts with you on the other side of the computer.
That never happens. What are you talking about?
What?
I just get this. I'll look at Isabel every now and then, and I swear she's like looking over there.
It's because they keep talking to me. They keep asking me if I want something, and I'm like, go away.
We just need to start sending more dirty texts to Isabel and then get her reaction while she's on camera. Kristen's like,
but anyway, yes, as you get older and your friends fall away, and maybe there isn't someone on the other side of the laptop to.
I thought you meant like virtually. I didn't realize you meant in real life. Okay, never mind. Misunderstood.
Yeah, I meant real life.
Gotcha. Okay.
I guess it's part of the whole love yourself thing. And I'm not like a self-help person. Like I'm not into promoting self-help, and I mean, like, I understand the benefit of it and I understand its value, but all I'm trying to say is I'm not like, you must love yourself, but you really do have to love yourself. That's the best thing probably you can do,
because then everything else is just like glitter
and
lipstick on a pig, glitter.
No,
like you can,
I hate it when people say that. It's so annoying.
Why?
It's offensive to glitter and pigs.
It is. Pigs are fantastic. Well, I guess what I mean is, let's say you are very unhappy.
She's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
If you're very unhappy and you hate yourself and you're angry all the time, maybe you're an internet troll and they need love too, because I think they're very unhappy people. I think they have stuff going on and that's how they act out. Throwing glitter on things isn't going to make them happy. It's like glitter is an extension of your happiness in your case, Lenora, but it's like you can only pile on so much of a facade before you're kind of weighed down by it completely.
Yeah,
I don't
100%.
know. That actually
totally
didn't make.
No, I mean, but that's a better way of explaining it than lipstick on a pig.
Okay.
No, I totally get it, and I absolutely agree, because again, like, and this is something that comes with age, and feeling more confident. Hiding behind the glitter, metaphorically or physically, whatever, hiding behind all the things like the career, the marriage, the mortgage, the kids, all that stuff, like all of the degrees, the university degrees, whatever, all of those things that we pile on ourselves that we like, okay, this is going to make me happier, this is going to make me look better in society if I have all of these things. That's exactly what weighs down all the pressure, like everything. But when you can just when you get to the point where you've had enough and you throw all the glitter away, or you realize, wait a sec, I don't need any of this. I want to experience all these things, but I'm okay if I don't.
But they aren't.
Yeah. I think that's the thing where I say everything else is just glitter. It's like, even when it comes to finding somebody or whatever it is that you're looking for, because when you get to that, contentness, you're like, okay, this is me. I want to experience these things. Absolutely. Bring it on. But I'm okay right now. Like, I'm okay without the wig. I'm okay without the 50 pounds of makeup. I'm okay. I'm here. I'll go put it on later, but it's just glitter. But if like, and that's something I think we all wish we had that attitude in our 20s, but it's hard to, we have to start somewhere. So
I think you have to earn it. I mean, it takes,
yes,
I mean, there's some people I think who are fortunate enough to be just imbued with a certain sort of self-assurance and whatever, or I don't know if it comes at birth, if it has to do with the way they are raised or whatever, but some people just have it. And I really, really admire and envy those people. I don't admire them, I envy them. Other times you just have to, it's just something you learn, something you pick up.
Yeah. So don't feel bad if you're not there yet, because you'll learn it. No, you're absolutely right. I like that. Yeah. I agree with that. Okay.
Self-love takes work.
It does. And I love that. We could wrap our episode with that. Would you girls?
Totally.
You girls agree?
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I just want to say, I think a bird fell on my skylight because at the beginning of this, there was a big thud. And usually that's Ian throwing a snowball at my skylight, and it looked like a snowball on my skylight. However, it is July. And it even looked like a snowball because there's white things like snowflakes. And now I've looked up there every now and then trying to figure out if they are feathers. I think they might be feathers, but I just needed to share that because I shouldn't be the only one knowing that a bird flew into my skylight. It's terrible. It's never happened before. What an idiot. I mean, they're not clear. They're kind of dark glass, so they should have seen the reflection at least. It's very strange.
Isabel, is there
That's all I have to say about that.
Isabel, is there something that you think everybody else should know? Just because.
What?
We can all share. Kristen felt that we should all know that a bird flew into her skylight. So is there something that you would like to share that we should all know to wrap this up, since we're having this conversation? I mean, these episodes are actually so good because this is like actually us. Like, this is really us. We just kind of go all over the place.
Well, other than the fact that I was like 20 minutes late today to recording because I completely, like, I just phased out. I mean, it was a 5 Eastern, and I was like, okay, it's at 5, but 5 Eastern is actually 4 Colombia. I'm jet lagged, fell asleep. So sorry. I'm so sorry. And so at the beginning, I was like all over the place at the beginning of recording, but now I'm good.
Our recording definitely like got streamlined as we went along.
Yeah.
So if you guys made it this far, congratulations. I think I say that every episode now. But
so sorry. Yeah, I was just completely out of it. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what happened to me today. But yeah. What about you, Lenora? Is there something that you would like people to know?
Yeah, it's been record-breaking heat here in Canada. There's a thunderstorm happening right now. I am really uncomfortable wearing this like basic black t-shirt. I don't like it. It's comfortable, but it's just, well,
I don't get it. It's comfortable. What was that, thunder?
massive thunderstorm right now. Holy hell, that just hit.
Nice.
Okay.
I thought a bird had flew against your bay window. And I
No,
was like, where's
it
mine?
just shook. The townhouse just shook. That just shook the townhouse.
Wow.
So we got a storm happening. All right. That's a wrap.
Summer storm.
Summer
Wow.
storm in the heat. Yeah, this is like we're under extreme thunderstorm watch now.
Yeah.
We've had it's been hot for a while now, but
Okay,
anyway.
Well, if you made it this far, congratulations. Like Lenora said. Thanks again for being here, for watching us if you're watching us on YouTube, for listening to us if you're listening to this on the podcast, any podcast platform that you can find us in. It's been such a pleasure to be here today, and we hope you like this episode.
Really? You didn't say sorry, it's your tone of voice. It's been such a pleasure to be here today.
Did it? I don't know. I was thinking about what else I have to say.
Oh,
How do we
okay.
wrap this up? This is what we wrap it up saying. Thank you for being here,
Mhm.
and then somebody else does the social media, which I think it's going to be Lenora.
Yes. You can
No,
also
wait,
do your
hold on. I forgot something else. Please,
website and Gmail.
Please send us an email to childfreegirls@gmail.com. We would love to get anything you want to tell us or ask us, or we love to get mails. We try to respond them as quickly as possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but we love getting them, and we promise we'll read every single one of them. And our website is childfreegirls.com.
And you can find us on Amazon. Our book there in paperback and Kindle. Childfree Girls Comfort Food for Thought is available on paperback and on Kindle. I just said that. You can find us all over social media at Childfree Girls on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are also on Clubhouse under Childfree Club. You can find us there. We host rooms 7 days a week, audio chat, available on the iPhone and Android. Heat wave brain. Okay, good enough. The wheels have just fallen off completely, but that's okay. Isabel just got back from Egypt. I've been sweltering here, and Kristen's wearing makeup. We don't know what the fuck is going on today. So
It's like with every flip of your fan, a new thought was coming to you.
this is how I get all of my brilliant ideas.
The question for this episode that we would invite you to answer at childfreegirls@gmail.com or down in the comments is, did you have a nurturing influence in your life, whether your father, your mother, any other relative, a teacher, a neighbor, or are you that nurturing influence in someone else's life? And just like as a part B, how do you feel about just completely eliminating the word maternal? If not, what word do you suggest we use for men who are nurturing, so that we can kind of imbue our language with this new word that automatically points to men as nurturers? That's it. Leave it in the comments.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Even if you're just listening,
Yes, please do.
go to the YouTube channel, Childfree Girls, and subscribe there too. That would be awesome. Thank you.
Bye.
Very helpful. And don't forget to love yourself. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. No, you say bye.
No, you say bye.
Oh my God, I'm leaving.
You leave first.
I'm going.
Bye.